On a cold winter day, February 11, 1847, in a small town called Milan, Ohio, a boy was born into an ordinary family. His name? Thomas Alva Edison. No one could have imagined that this frail child, the youngest of 7, would one day change the world. Even as a toddler, Thomas wasn't like the others. He didn't talk until he was almost 4. But once he started, he wouldn't stop asking questions. His favorite word wasn't why, it was why not. His mother, Nancy Edison, a former schoolteacher, saw something special in her son. She believed in him when no one else did. And that belief would become the spark that ignited everything. School didn't understand Thomas. His teachers called him addled. A word that meant confused or mentally slow. But he wasn't slow. He was curious. Too curious for a classroom that preferred silence over wonder. One day, his teacher snapped. He said Thomas was too dumb to learn. The next day, Nancy Edison marched to that one-room schoolhouse, pulled her son out, and said, "I will teach him myself." And she did. She gave him books, taught him to think freely, and told him, "Never stop asking questions, Tom." By age 10, Edison had built his own chemistry lab in the basement. He collected bottles, chemicals, and wires, labeling everything with neat little tags. He would read science books for hours and then try experiments no one had ever told him about. One day, one of those experiments caught fire. The smoke rose. His father stormed down and destroyed the lab. But Thomas didn't cry. He just watched and quietly promised himself, "Someday, I'll build something bigger." At 12, Thomas got a job selling newspapers and candy on a moving train. He didn't waste his long hours on board. He brought chemicals, tools, and even a printing press onto the baggage car. That car became his moving laboratory. He even printed his own newspaper called the Grand Trunk Herald. But one day, an experiment exploded and set the car on fire. The conductor slapped him, threw his chemicals off the train, and kicked him out of the baggage car forever. But Edison had already decided, the world would be his laboratory now. Edison began to lose his hearing at a young age. Some say it was due to the conductor's slap, others say it was from a bout of scarlet fever. But he never saw it as a weakness. He said, "My deafness helped me concentrate. Silence is golden when you want to think." And Edison wanted to think all the time. But one day, an experiment exploded and set the car on fire. The conductor slapped him, threw his chemicals off the train, and kicked him out of the baggage car forever. He became so good at it that he could listen to 5 messages at once and still understand them. While others struggled, Edison improvised and innovated. He began inventing telegraph improvements, machines that could send multiple messages at the same time. Every improvement brought him closer to his dream, to become a full-time inventor. In 1869, at age 22, he moved to New York City with a few dollars in his pocket and an invention in his head. Hungry and broke, he walked into the Gold Indicator Company. Their stock ticker had broken down. Within hours, Edison had fixed it. They hired him on the spot, and not long after, he sold his first major invention for $40,000. That money allowed him to build his own laboratory. He called it Menlo Park. The world had no idea what was coming next. Menlo Park wasn't just a lab. It was the first industrial research lab in history. Edison gathered brilliant minds, machines, notebooks, and materials. He made his team work day and night. He once said, "Genius is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration." He proved it. While others waited for ideas, Edison chased them down. In 1877, he created something no one had imagined. A machine that could record and play back sound. When he played the first recording, his own voice reciting, "Mary Had a Little Lamb," people were terrified. They thought it was magic. But Edison knew it was just science, and imagination. Soon after, Edison turned to a dream that had eluded every inventor before him, creating electric light. He wanted to light up homes, streets, cities. But the light had to be safe, long-lasting, and affordable. Hundreds had tried, and failed. Edison didn't try. He attacked the problem. He tested thousands of materials, working 18 to 20 hours a day. He and his team tried over 6,000 materials for the filament: metal wires, coconut fiber, cardboard, even beard hair. He failed again and again. People laughed. Newspapers mocked him. But Edison didn't stop. He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." And then, one night, in 1879, they tried a carbonized bamboo filament. The bulb glowed. And it didn't die in a few minutes. It lasted for hours. Edison had done it. He had brought light to the darkness. The world changed overnight. By the early 1880s, Edison's electric light system was illuminating homes, factories, and city streets. In 1882, Pearl Street Station in New York City became the world's first electric power station, delivering electricity to dozens of buildings. For the first time in history, night didn't mean darkness anymore. People could work longer, read at night, and feel safer on the streets. Edison wasn't just inventing, he was reshaping civilization. But every great light casts a shadow. As Edison's fame grew, so did the competition. Another genius, Nikola Tesla, entered the scene with a different vision of electricity: alternating current, AC. Edison's system used direct current, DC. What followed was a bitter and public battle known as the War of Currents. Edison believed AC was dangerous. To prove it, he even participated in public demonstrations where animals were electrocuted using AC, shocking the public in more ways than one. But despite Edison's resistance, AC would eventually become the standard for long-distance power transmission. Still, Edison had lit the match. Others may have expanded the fire, but he struck the first spark. In 1892, Edison's electric company merged with others to form General Electric, a name that would dominate the 20th century. Meanwhile, his lab kept producing inventions at an astonishing pace. The motion picture camera. The alkaline storage battery. Improvements in telegraphs, telephones, and cement. He held over 1,000 patents, more than any man before him. But with greatness came sacrifice. Edison's first wife, Mary, died young. He married again and had more children, but his first love was always his work. He would often forget to eat, skip sleep, and live in his lab for days. He said, "I never did a day's work in my life. It was all fun." But fun, for Edison, meant obsession. He missed birthdays, skipped holidays, and struggled with family relationships. He was a hero to the world, but a mystery to his children. Throughout his life, Edison remained skeptical of Tesla. While Tesla pursued futuristic ideas, wireless energy, radio, even death rays, Edison remained grounded in practical inventions. The world would later celebrate Tesla as a visionary. But Edison, despite his flaws, brought ideas to life and made them usable by the common man. He once said, "The value of an idea lies in the using of it." Even in his old age, Edison refused to slow down. He worked with Henry Ford, his close friend, on car batteries. He explored rubber alternatives, worried about America's dependence on foreign imports. He still roamed his lab with notebooks in hand, sketching out thoughts and formulas until his hands shook. When asked why he never retired, he said, "Restlessness is discontent, and discontent is the first necessity of progress." On October 18, 1931, Thomas Edison passed away at the age of 84. As a tribute, cities across America turned off their lights for 1 minute. For 60 seconds, the world saw darkness again, just to remember the man who had banished it. People wept. Newspapers ran stories calling him the greatest inventor of all time. His death marked the end of an era, but not the end of his influence. Today, we don't even notice the lights we switch on, but every time we do, we're touching Edison's legacy. From your bedroom lamp to the cinema screen, from recorded music to electric cars, echoes of Edison live on. He taught the world that failure isn't the end. It's the fuel. He showed us that you don't need a perfect mind, you just need relentless determination. He believed in trying again, and again, and again, until the darkness breaks. Before he died, Edison's final words were whispered to his wife. "It's very beautiful over there." Some say he was talking about the afterlife. Others believe he was seeing something his mind age. Thomas Edison didn't just give us light. He gave us an example of what a single human being can do, with questions, with courage, with fire in the heart. He lit up the world not just with electricity, but with hope. With persistence. With the belief that no dream is too big. And no failure too final. So the next time you flip a switch, remember the boy who asked, "Why not?" The man who failed 10,000 times. And the genius who proved that one spark is enough to change the world.